is Obadiah, and today we are back with another episode of Music or Hideout, a show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in normally Waylon Jennings' old basement studio, but today we are all the way across the country in a good friend of ours who you probably heard about on the podcast. If you are a listener, Coe. We're in his studio.
Not a listener. Oh.
Here. Yeah, I don't know if you're not a listener. Coe's San Diego studio. And
sure.
as always, backyard studio?
Backyard studio.
Underground studio?
No. Not underground.
Above ground.
Above ground?
El Cajun
Usually,
studio?
that's why this feels off. We're usually underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And as always, I am gathered here with co-host
That's
Ryan Poole.
probably going to come through his mic because his mic is on the table.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Such is life. And I will pass it to Ryan to introduce said guest.
And tonight on a special episode of Music Girl Hideout.
This is not normal. This is not what you do. That's what I do.
And I talk a little bit faster than normal, and if I just do this, it sounds as though it's a pre-planned thing that I say with my announcer voice. And tonight, it's Coe Schneider. Coe Schneider is a long-term friend of the show, and specifically
Friend of
me
the show.
and later jury.
Oh, rude.
And true.
And well, I've known you since 2003, maybe.
2. No, 2?
Yeah, 2.
No,
Definitely 2.
Summer of 2002.
The summer of 2002.
Whoa, okay.
And now it's 2020.
For the record, then,
Almost.
it wasn't that much later, because I first met you at the Future Quests,
Yeah.
right? And that was only like 2006?
That was after I was married. No.
7?
After I was married. So it would have had to have been at least 2007.
Wow.
Wow.
Right?
Well, maybe. Seems late.
And we started a band together right here in this small town of almost Lakeside.
Yep.
And Coe is a musician. He's a bass player. He's a guitarist. And in recent years, ever since I left San Diego, has gone into this whole internet sledding community. Is that what you call it?
Internet sledding community.
And
Pretty much. Yeah. That works.
he is a professional internet slut, which means that he does all sorts of things with
whore.
guitars. Whore. Sorry.
That's fair. That's
All
fair.
sorts of
Classier.
things with guitars.
All
Yes.
sorts.
All sorts.
And Coe.
None of them require skill and actual ability.
Oh,
at
you
playing.
sell yourself short. Maybe not playing, but as Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum has proved, you don't have to be able to play good to do this.
That's true.
I always see he posts those little things about how bad he is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that bad.
No, he's
I'm
fine.
like, he's a better player than me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Depends who you're comparing to.
yeah. And but you've helped design pedals and now recently a few guitars, and we're gonna get into all that. But somehow you found yourself knee deep in the guitar community, and this all sounds
Only
so
knee
sexual.
deep?
The
And
guitar
how?
community,
I feel like at this point it's deeper than knee deep. He's at least waist high at this point.
waist high.
Thigh high.
Thigh high. Classic thigh high. Internet sluts. Got it.
But we always like to start this episode
Yeah, with the same question we always start with.
Yeah.
Wow. Which is, well, how'd you get into music in the first place?
In the first place. Okay, so I think I've told a few different versions of this story.
Well, feel free to tell us the lie if it's better than the truth.
Spice it up a little.
Okay, well, one of the things that I attribute it most to is I saw a Garth Brooks concert on TV. And it wasn't just a concert, it was like behind the scenes type of deal, you know? And he was explaining how before every one of his shows, and this was like 93, 94, like right in that era when he's huge and selling out arenas. And he's like, before every show, I go out and I find one seat out in the audience, and I sit there and I try and think, how is this person going to feel special during the concert? And then it cut to him like flying through the air on this rope with a spotlight in his hand, like shining a light on that seat that he was sitting in and stuff. And I'm like, this guy is rad.
Oh,
So
that is rad.
that's kind of one of the things that sparked me into it. From there, my uncle is a drummer, has been ever since I've known him, and used to, let me beat around on his drums. And then
Still does.
Still does, yeah. They're in the,
The
corner
drums
of
are
the
right there.
studio right
We can
now.
see him.
So his drums currently live with me, and and so I eventually kind of got around to joining my uncle's band, So I wanted to play drums, but then in high school they had a guitar class at
Lame.
high school. So I'm like, I'll take guitar class.
Yeah, I would
And I failed. And my guitar
that explains a lot, Coe.
my guitar teacher told me, you play guitar like you're trying to play bass. So I bought a bass.
Did he make that suggestion
Who?
to buy bass?
No.
Your teacher?
Or was he just being a dick?
He's
No.
just being a dick, and
Yeah.
you're like,
He was like-
do you not see the helpful advice in your own insult?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, impressionable student, you suck.
He got fired when the
Classic
drug
Mr. Feeney advice.
he got fired when the drug dogs showed up and found his stash in his office. So, he got his.
He got his.
Wouldn't happen these
Were you
days
the
in
one who called the
California.
cops on him?
No, wasn't me. No, it was random drug dogs. Drug dogs.
Just
Random
wandering the
drug
city,
dogs.
looking for drugs, as they do.
As they do.
That'd be great. San Diego's wandering drug dogs.
I don't think it would be great. It sounds terrifying and post-apocalyptic.
All they'd have to do is go down Greenfield. I don't know if you guys have driven down there, but the whole
rough.
middle of El Cajon right now is all pot shops.
Oh, is it?
On Greenfield.
Yeah,
Why
well-
do you think they chose Greenfield? It's in the name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I like
So-
it.
I wonder if that was intentional. If that was actually intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and there's that whole like gross, weird industrial section of Greenfield down there too.
I know very little about
Oh, here it is.
Greenfield.
The Geography Podcast.
Yeah. So it begins.
But yeah, so I bought a bass. And around that same time, my uncle's band, their guitar player broke his arm. And so their bass player,
That's just like that thing you do.
yeah. So the bass player said, I'll play guitar. And doesn't your nephew who hangs out at our practice want to play bass? I'm like, yeah, I do. And
How old are you at this time?
This was freshman year of high school.
Okay, so like 14.
Yeah, 14-ish.
right around there. Okay,
And so,
and you were in a band with people who were significantly older.
yeah, I mean,
Your uncle for sure.
my uncle, and then the guy that was the bass player that took over guitar, he was like in his early 20s at the time. There was a couple other older guys playing like saxophone and piano and stuff. But so they had a party gig coming up, and so bass player took over guitar, and he's like, you can play bass. I'm like, I don't know how to play bass. And he's like, any monkey can play bass. And so he taught me how to play bass by yelling out notes while singing. So that was my introduction to playing with another band. Was here's the notes on the top string. Boom, 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 boom. They told me all the notes, and we're gonna go. And they start playing and singing, and he'd be like, whatever, da 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 E, da 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 A, like,
Wow.
yeah. And then started a band with my uncle.
Now, since then, have you learned notes on the other strings?
No,
Or are you still just a top string guy?
only to the 5th fret. But
What was your uncle's band name?
they didn't have a band name.
Classic old
Yeah,
guy thing
they
to
were
do.
just old guy party band. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Old guy party band. OGPD.
yeah,
But then you and your uncle started a band, which I happen to know was called Penguin Patrol.
yes. Because the first song I ever wrote was called "Penguins on Patrol." So
Makes sense.
We named the band Penguin Patrol, and did that for a number of years. And around that same time, word got out that I was playing bass in a band, and some kids that I picked on that lived down the road from me showed up at my door one day and said, "Hey, we heard you play bass. You want to join our band?" And I said, "I don't know. I'll think about it." And then they told me where to show up for practice and what time. And I showed up for practice, and they were there. And then like 4 or 5 hours later, the drummer showed up, and it was great.
Weird. I've known such a drummer in my time.
He's way better now. But sorry, I had to get that
Yeah.
dig in because it's a crucial part of that story.
I forgot about that. I was that drummer.
Oh, and it
Well,
was
at
at
the time-
it was at the drummer's house.
Yeah, but at the time I was living at my mom's house. I was living at my mom's house in Alpine.
Yeah.
It was at my dad's house in Lakeside.
Which is a good 20-minute drive.
20 minutes
and
drive.
yeah.
But I was too young to drive.
So you walked.
So I
and that's why it took 5
4
hours.
Yeah.
no, I think I like slept in and my mom already left or something, or maybe I didn't sleep in, but she left anyway. She
Yeah.
like left super early in the morning. So I like walked to the bus stop and then like
and went to
took a
Coronado
bus.
first.
Which was, I mean, the bus stop from where we lived was on Alpine Heights. So it was super far.
Was
And,
it?
Yeah. It was
You
super
lived
far.
in town. It's not like you lived out in
Alpine Heights.
Hoppatul.
Alpine Heights. I mean, it's still
That's pretty far.
it's still like a mile or two that you have to like
Was
walk or ride your bicycle or something.
Okay.
And then you had to like drive to Lakeside, and then they dropped me off at like the McDonald's.
Yeah, I remember. That's
then
where
I
we
had to,
met
like,
you.
Walk up. Yeah.
First time I met you. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think
Aww.
they picked me up, and then we came back, and you were already there playing bass. I remember when I first saw you, you had your shirt off, and you had like a wheat thing in your mouth.
See, you always say that, but that is totally uncharacteristic. Like the shirt off, totally characteristic.
You had a
wheat
thing in your
thing?
mouth.
But he,
Shirt off, thing in your mouth.
think
like
you
know, like farmers
imagined
have.
that.
Like
Maybe
in a
I
John
did.
Steinbeck novel or something.
Yes. And he's like sitting there playing his bass, and singing songs about the Depression and being a
The
grape
Dust Bowl.
harvester. Yeah, I thought you were a total hick for like a while. And then I was like, oh no,
I
he's
was.
a punk.
I was a hick and still am.
Proud of it, it sounds like.
Yes, I don't know.
And for the podcast listeners, he's wearing a flannel shirt and a deer hat.
But I am wearing like kind of like tight black punk rock jeans. So
There you go. You
Yeah.
keeping it alive.
in Vans.
So you joined a band with some kids you picked on. By the way, I was not one of those.
Yeah, you were
Did
not
you
one of the
pick
pick-
on, you picked on Matt and Brandon? Tell me about that.
Oh yeah.
Like how? What'd
Me
you
and
do?
my friends, we used to make fun of them on the bus all the time and pick on them. It was not as much me. 'Cause, I'm a sweetheart. I'm a nice guy. But my friends were dicks. Like they were bad, and
They still are, I've heard.
I haven't seen them in a while. But
No, I mean
yeah.
your current friends.
Oh, my current friends, yeah. But yeah, they used to like trip them, push them, call them names,
Funny enough, Matt
threaten to beat them
Tyler,
up.
one of those kids, picked on me on a bus,
Yeah,
which is sort of what led to me being in the band.
yeah, weird, huh?
Weird.
Yeah, I wonder if he was like taking out his rage from being picked on by your friends. So
Possible.
ultimately, you were picking on me.
But
Classic math.
and that was like the fuel for Honor Wounds. Eventually, was like this rage of like everybody picking on each other and not liking each other for the most part.
That's true.
'Cause
We all
as
did
soon
get
as-
picked on or pick on.
Yeah, as soon as Brandon left, what was the main instigator, in my opinion, like we started dwindling as a band and not existing very well. Like it was that was the glue. The fact that we were magnets all pushing away from each other was the glue that
Held
kept
us all
us together.
Spinning in circles.
No, I've actually thought about it. Like I still really look back on what we did musically and everything fondly. And I think it's because we were all trying to be better than everybody else in the band at what we did.
I mean,
and
that's not a bad thing.
No, I think that and
That's motivation.
I mean, I think we did it out of hate, but
Hey, hatred fuels a lot of great things.
I
right?
think that's why we all excelled and got way better at what we did during that time. That, and we were like in our late teens, early 20s, which is just like a big exponential growth time anyway. But
Yeah. I never had that perspective, but it's an interesting one. But I do, I kind of think the band fizzled out on account of when Brandon left, we went a different direction, and then I went a different direction and was like, I'm not going to do this as a career anymore.
yeah,
And then that.
So how long did it last? How long did Honor Wounds last?
like 8 or 9 years
It's a long time.
in all of
Did
its
it?
8
completion.
or 9 years.
2002,
We started in 2002.
end of my freshman year. And then end of my senior year was when we were going to go on that tour. And after the tour, so 2006, that was January 2006. Oh, becoming 2007, right? Or was it January 2006? It's probably January 2006. Yeah, becoming 2006. And so anyway, that was like kind of like the turning point where we stopped taking it as seriously.
hmm
So that was after 4 years, but we still did it for a little bit with
like 2 or 3 more years, I think.
with Josh. Yeah, we got Mike Best when Matt Tyler left. I think,
Mhm.
I think maybe 2 more. In my head, it's more like 6.
Okay.
But either way, I could be wrong because I don't really know when we quit. It sort of fizzled at the end.
Yeah,
Sorta
it
like-
just kind of stopped. There was like definitely a point when we all said we're not doing this anymore, but then there was like a 3-year period of us still kind of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize it was the end of Honor Wounds was so close to the start of Danny Marie stuff. Like, that's really close. If you're talking 2007, 2008,
Danny
that
Marie started in 2010, right?
No, it was earlier than that.
The Timeline Podcast.
Well, Danny Marie ended in 2011,
Yeah, we did.
and it was 2 years.
So 9.
So 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed there was like a way
relatively-
bigger gap.
Relatively as slightly older adults than we were.
Yeah.
It's like now it's
That's
like
almost no time at all.
Yeah,
But back
it was
then,
only 2
that
years,
was
yeah.
a quarter of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was 8 at the time. So
You joined a band and like a lot happened there. Like, you have any cool stories from those days?
From the Honor Wounds
The
days.
Honor Wounds days.
well, I know the tour thing was a whole thing.
That was a whole thing. One of the band members sold all his stuff, lost his lease on his apartment because we were supposed to go on tour. Another band member sold all his stuff except for what he needed to carry in his pickup truck. And me, I dropped out of school. I mean, there was a couple reasons why I dropped out of school, but that was a big motivator. I also didn't want to be a music teacher.
Okay. Is that what you were going for school for?
I was going to school for music and audio production, and I was thinking about what am I going to like. I was going for that stuff for work, thinking I'm going to be a rock star. I thought that's what I thought.
All good rock stars need a college degree.
Yeah, but then like the whole tour thing started happening, and I'm like, well, you know what? I don't really want to be a teacher anyway. And what else do you do with a freaking music degree except be a teacher? So I decided, I'm done doing school. I was never going to get a degree anyway. I took none of the classes you were supposed to take for a degree. I just took
what you
all the
wanted.
stuff I wanted. So
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
which, to be fair, that's how college should probably be anyways.
yes, I agree.
Now the tour for context,
Yeah. The Last Days tour,
the Last Days tour.
a Christian X Games Warped Tour festival. I don't know if I'm supposed to look at you or there. Like,
Wherever
Oh,
you
we just
really-
we just talked.
Yeah,
to
we
each
just
other.
talked.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
Whatever
like the number
works.
one rule of being on film is don't look at the camera, right?
Nah.
No, okay.
I mean, it's like don't look directly into it like he's doing. Just do what you want.
Okay. So Christmas time, Christmas Story. We all
Yes.
know and love that, right?
Christmas.
Christmas?
Not Christmas. The Christmas Story, the movie.
Oh, no. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
terrible
the
movie.
movie. I
It's
like it.
nonsense. And I don't want nobody watches it.
Okay. Well, there's a scene.
Jury hates almost everything that's well loved.
That's fine.
It's
There's
very
a,
Coe of me.
there's a scene where all the kids put on the fake teeth, in the classroom.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're all smiling and giggling, and teacher makes them hand it all in. And so there's a shot of all the kids handing them in, and then they turn around and like in a line. And there's one little girl that she hands the teeth in, and then she looks straight at the camera and goes, and then walks. Like she's like, I'm not supposed to do this.
They told us not to.
Yeah.
Bitch got fired.
But anyway,
And I can say bitch because she's a full-grown adult now.
Right.
Oh,
you
yeah,
would never call
100%.
a young child a bitch.
Absolutely not.
I mean, you probably would.
I'm
but in
talking
this-
about it. She's like a 60-year-old woman at this point.
Yeah, you're calling the elderly a bitch. I got it. It's also fine.
calling the elderly a bitch.
That's definitely the name of this podcast, this episode.
just be the name of your podcast all the time. Just change it. Anyway, so
The tour.
the tour. Promised big things. Started out with getting a tour bus, and it's going to be a year long, and we're going all over the country in South America.
50 states.
Yeah, like
All of them?
Yeah.
So we all started planning our life around this. Like we went to this big meeting up in Marietta at some big Christian college up there. And like there was like probably 1,000 people in that field for this meeting, for this big tour. Like they're giving us the rundown. And slowly but surely, just like, oh, hey, we're still going to do it, but it turns out we can't get the tour buses because we didn't get the donation, so everybody's going to have vans. Like, it still work, but, we'll have vans instead
Yeah,
of buses.
and by the way,
like,
they said In-N-Out is sponsoring it. We're
Yeah,
on free In-N-Out and all this stuff, and it was like, whoa, In-N-Out's
sponsor.
behind.
That's a huge deal.
In-N-Out's behind it. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
Unless you're on the East Coast right now and don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you fool.
In which case, sorry about your life.
I mean, unless you're on the internet, you still know what In-N-Out is.
Sure. I mean,
Because
that's probably true.
everybody talks about it. I wouldn't say it's better than Five Guys.
I would say you're a whore of a person if you believe that. Are you kidding me? Five Guys is trash in comparison to In-N-Out.
I'm so tired of In-N-Out.
Dear God. What have you become?
Jaded
In your
California.
old age.
Yeah. You also hate the sun and the ocean.
Yeah, hey, that's true. But yeah, so it just slowly like, oh, well, this isn't going to happen now because of whatever. And then boom, just little bit by little bit, it's just all dwindling to where it's like, okay, well, we don't have a lot lined up, but we're still going to kick things off. We're doing this big festival show in Las Vegas on New Year's Eve. Woo. It's going to be great. There's going to be motocross jumping, blah, blah. Like, it's
Which
cool.
Originally they told us that New Year's Eve in New York, in Las Vegas, they had been given a field
Yeah.
on the strip. On the Vegas Strip,
They were given a field?
the use of a field.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
A giant field, and it was going to be like a festival, like the biggest festival you've ever seen on the Strip.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, you're going to have 1 million people there, right? Just if there was music and it's on the Vegas Strip, people are going to walk up. Now think about the Vegas Strip. Remember the fields?
I don't know if any fields on the Vegas
I mean,
Strip.
there's dirt lots adjacent to, like 2 or 3 blocks down,
Sure.
but
They could, yeah, okay.
But apparently there's a field down there.
Giant
It's
one.
right next to Treasure Island. So anyway, and we were going to play in it, and so it's going to be epic, right?
yeah.
So we all drove out to Las Vegas on New Year's Eve.
From our various
or the day
locations.
before New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been New Year's Eve morning, right?
Yeah.
New Year's Eve morning. We all drive out there. They've got however many dozens of musicians and people all in some random like track home that's just empty. I remember there being like a couple of couches and like sleeping on the floor because there's just like people everywhere.
It's the original Fire Fest.
And,
Oh my God, you're right.
and they're scrambling like, oh, we gotta get some things together, blah blah blah. And they're like, okay, well,
When I should say too, I don't know if you remember this part, but the few weeks coming up to the actual New Year's Eve, they stopped being in contact with us. Do you
I
remember
don't
that?
remember that,
Yeah, I
no.
remember I was trying to get in touch with the girl who was running it.
yeah. So
and
you
she
were always
stopped-
more in charge of that stuff.
She
so.
stopped like answering the phone calls and like not really getting back to
That's
me.
a great sign.
So when we went out on New Year's Eve, we hadn't heard from her in a week or two.
Yeah.
And we were just taking it on faith that was still happening because they told us it was.
So we showed up at this house and there was people there,
That's good.
all there for the same thing.
Just bands or like anyone who like
I don't
was
know.
putting the
Oh,
event
they had
together?
bands. They had some motocross people,
Yeah.
skaters, like preachers, all sorts of stuff.
So they're like, all right, we're all gonna go over to the location, which was not on the Strip. It was in like Henderson.
Oh, because the strip fell through.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it was in like Henderson.
Because
which
there's
it
no
was a-
field on the Strip.
and
And,
it
they
was a
realized
church.
that.
it was a church. It was a church and
Parking lot.
which, in all fairness, we got there and there were motocross ramps in the
There
parking
really
lot.
were.
Oh, wow.
There really were. Problem was the church was locked and there was no one there to do anything, and it was starting to rain and it was getting really windy. So like, all right, motocross jumps are canceled because of weather. All the music's going inside. Shoot, it's locked. We can't get a hold of anybody that belongs to this church.
Oh, interesting.
Now, a bunch of punk rockers like yourself should have shattered those windows and gotten in.
broken all the stained glass. Now, what I recall was that the church had something else going on, and they said we couldn't go inside.
No, I remember just being locked and like
I'm down with
nothing
that idea
going
too.
on. Yeah.
I like that. That's better.
But they're like, okay, well, everybody go back to the house. We'll figure something out. We're going to figure it out. And then a couple hours later, like, all right, we got it figured out. We got a venue.
Well, meanwhile, didn't they tell us? They told us to go to the mall with all these flyers and promote it because, like, oh,
That's
yeah,
the type of thing I would have ignored.
Oh,
So
it was supposed to get promoted. This big strip event, but oh wait, now it's moved to the church.
Yeah.
So we need you guys to go promote. So we took flyers to the mall and passed out flyers, but then the church got canceled,
yeah.
and then
Go back and we'll figure it out. So a couple hours later, like, we figured out we got a venue for us and it's actually a better location because there's a movie theater and restaurants and all this stuff. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And we
Yeah.
go there. And we show up and it's a coffee shop and it's open mic night. We just took over the open mic night.
No!
Yeah.
The audacity.
The year-long
Like the guy
tour.
who's telling you must just feel so bad or have no soul.
Yeah. The year-long tour with tour buses and everything paid for.
Sponsored by
and
In-N-Out.
Sponsored by In-N-Out turned into we took over an open mic night in Las Vegas on New Year's Eve.
yeah.
Did people show up at least?
All the other bands were there.
Yep, we played.
We played, and
God.
Some kids afterwards.
afterwards we said, "Yeah, we're done with this," and then slowly died for 3 years.
Yeah, because I mean, was there another date?
Nope.
They never did another one.
Never did nothing. Like no one even tried. We just that was it.
No.
Man,
Every
no.
6 months or so, I send her an email. I'm just kidding.
Hey, when's the next one? Like we're ready.
When's the next
We've
open
been
mic night
practicing.
takeover?
Now, have you tried to like ever get in touch with anyone else who was part of this in any year since?
Class action lawsuit.
Well, maybe not for that, but for just like figuring out the other side of the story. Like, was there ever a thing? Like, was there ever a real thing, or did it just fell through, or was it like some people just putting on airs, thinking they could get some shit together?
Yes, she was young, and she was probably like early 20s, ambitious, thought God was behind it, and had a bunch of people that got on board, and I think she probably did have In and Out, like saying they would sponsor.
I mean, she went to
something.
lunch there a few times. Yeah,
her manager, because she worked there probably.
Like I think they had some backing, but not nearly enough. And then they thought like the rest would happen, and then it slowly didn't happen, and it just fell apart. Like it was young people trying to do something big and thinking
I have
it would
no
work,
idea what they're
and then
talking about.
and then it didn't work. Well, one thing we did forget with our intro is, Coe, what are we drinking tonight?
Oh yeah, what are we drinking tonight?
Well, I told you that I am a fan of scotches, so you picked this Glenfiddich 12 up, which is mighty tasty.
It's only one bottle, 12 years.
A deer to match my hat.
How about that?
And yeah, it's good.
And it tastes like scotch.
Yeah, it tastes like scotch.
Tastes like scotch.
I'm fairly new to the whole scotch drinking scene,
Yeah.
so I don't know really
It's
what's
a really
a good
vibrant
scotch.
community.
I just know, like I've been drinking bourbon for years,
Right.
So I've been trying recently thinking about picking up scotch, but I just don't know the differences
encourage
really
that
between
behavior.
them. Yeah, the one that we had the other day here was way smokier than this. I feel like
Because it's an Islay, or the correct pronunciation is Isla, but I think that's stupid because it looks like Islay.
but it's another language.
Right.
Other languages pronounce things differently.
Don't care.
Okay, but so you know the street in El Cajon.
Yeah.
Starts with a J.
Yeah, Hamishaw.
Yeah, right.
You mean Jamaica?
Yeah, I believe you mean by your logic, it should be Jamaica.
No, because I live here, and
Okay.
it's Hamishaw.
Okay.
Coe pronounces what he wants, how he wants, when he wants. Now, looking back with your 2020 hindsight,
Yeah.
I was going to say that all year long.
I encourage that.
What did you learn from honor wounds, or get out of honor wounds, or bring into your life? It's now like a decade later or more,
Yeah.
or more, more than 10 years. What did that do for you, or how is that? How did that change your life?
Well, I mean, it
Ruin your life? Whatever.
introduced us,
That's true.
first of all, which was a good thing.
Still remains to be seen.
So far, seems like a good thing. Got me plugged
Feeling
in.
optimistic.
It got me plugged in at Foothills. Like, I believe there was a point where I was told, you got to come to church with us or you're getting kicked out of the band.
That did happen.
Yes.
But not because
I was just not a churchgoer. Yeah.
there was a very
Other life
specific, deep personal
circumstances.
moment why that made sense. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. No, you guys are just
And it
dicks.
sounds like we're not getting into that on the show.
No,
Based on the,
Sure
so,
are.
all right.
Nope, it's all the way down. Moving on. It's a fucking good story.
It is. That was a crazy time in life. Spending a lot of time during that time also. I mean, we can talk about that time because there's been a few times in my life that were like pivotal, like big pivotal moments where a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
And that was one. I had a friend named Tom that I was in Penguin Patrol with, and he lived at Ryan's house for a while, and as did I.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he lived in your sister's room just as I did.
I'll accept that.
Yeah. Not
I believe
As
you
I
mean my wife's room.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I forget you guys are from the South, so sisters, wives, it's all,
It all
the
means
same
the
thing.
same thing.
And so he was going through all kinds of stuff, and he did some stuff with Honor Wounds. Like he would go to our shows as our like roadie, and then fall asleep.
He helped sell T-shirts. He was pretty good at that.
Yeah, he was good at
like,
selling T-shirts. But he was going through a whole bunch of stuff. His parents threw him in an insane asylum for a while, and he got hit by a car on the freeway while high on some form of hallucinogenic drug. So he, like me and him, were going through a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, and which changed a lot of directions. He's homeless now.
Oh,
I am not. But yeah, so that was a big pivotal moment. Sometime we'll get into the meat and potatoes of that story when it's not being recorded, which is fair.
Fair enough.
Because I say so. Thing I got out of Honor Wounds, I don't know. Met you. That's cool. Started going to Foothills. That's cool. Kind of laid the foundation for music stuff for me later. I'm definitely a lot nicer and work better with other musicians now than I did back then. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that question. I don't think about that.
I mean, you did just give an answer.
Okay.
We'll accept it.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate that.
It's allowed. So that was a long time ago.
So that was Honor Wounds. From Honor Wounds, I got picked up. So started going to the Foothills Church there, and their college group had an open mic night when I first started going, and I played the open mic night. I did a song, the Apple Song, by Calibrato 13, and afterwards, one of the college group worship leaders came up and asked me if I was interested in being in the worship team, and I said, yeah, but I normally just play bass. I'm not really a guitar player. And he said, great. And so I started playing bass on the college group worship team after that. And then I played for, when would that have been?
Years-wise?
Yeah, like that would have been like 2005. Yeah, it would have been 2005 when I started going to Foothills. 2005, 2006-ish. And then I played on the worship team in various capacities. Still kind of do. So yeah, still kind of do. Now I play cajon for the kids' church.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Me and
Cajon?
me and Ryan Steckler.
Has anyone said that yet?
All the time.
Dang it.
Me and Ryan Steckler do kids worship tunes because their typical thing is they put in a CD and have the kids dance and sing.
Sure.
And so we both have kids in the kids thing now, and we're like, this sucks that our kids don't have live music. Like, why don't our kids have live music? We're not doing anything. So we try and do it every couple of months or so. We go in there and do that. And
That's
he plays
cool.
acoustic and sings, and I sit on the cajon and hammer away on it. And
That's cool.
yeah, so it got me, that's fun. And then also during that time, we got in the Danny Marie band. You have told that story before, but
On our podcast?
yes, I've heard you tell that story on the podcast.
Was it the episode, The Story of Us?
Yes.
Jury in Mind?
Oh, yeah. That episode.
Yeah.
That was a very
That
strange
was
episode.
real early on.
Yeah, real early on. We were like, we don't have a guest this week.
Yep.
I guess we'll talk to each other. Mm-hmm. And had no plan.
Oh, before Danny Marie started, though, I started my own band called Left Coast Lights.
Right.
That I usually forget about. With my uncle again, and his wife at the time. And
Your Uncle Tom?
Yeah, my Uncle Tom. A different Tom than the one that got hit by a car on the freeway.
Correct.
Yeah. But the one whose drum set I am currently housing.
Your life has hinged on the back of Tom's.
Yes, it does. Tom's and Ryan's.
Yeah.
Tom's and Ryan's. So yeah, Left Coast Lights started. I tore the meniscus in my right knee and had to go to physical therapy. And I was laying on the physical therapist table, and the physical therapist was massaging my leg with oil to loosen the muscles before we did the exercises. And he asked me, what I like to do with my spare time. And I said, oh, I do music. I play bass and guitar and write songs and stuff. And he's like, oh, cool. I started playing guitar. What kind of music you listen to? And I listened, the Ramones and the Clash and just like the punk rock stuff that I was really heavily into at the time. And he's like, oh, I love those bands. We should start a band. And so
as he's gently massaging,
my thighs. Yes, that's exactly how it went down. So we started a band, Left Coast Lights, with my uncle and his wife, and did that for a couple years until Danny Marie Band started, and then both were happening at the same time. So I was doing Left Coast Lights, Danny Marie Band, college worship on Thursday nights, every other Saturday night for main service, and every Tuesday night for home group. And then it was too much because that's a lot of stuff to be doing, because I was also working full time and had a wife, and she told me to stop things. So Danny Marie Band seemed to have a lot of promise. Even though I didn't enjoy it as much, I'm like, this one looks like it's going somewhere. So I cut Left Coast Lights off, and college group also I cut off at that time. And then I was in Danny Marie Band, which that's the story you've told.
Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have Danny Marie on at some point. Now she lives in Nashville.
Yeah, she lives in your town now. I'm glad I'm on your podcast now, though, before her, even though she's local to you.
Yeah. We flew all the way here.
Just for this.
This
is the whole reason.
Happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there...
What was it that made it feel like the Danny Marie Band had promise?
There was more drive. There was more... Would you say... I always say the gigs were more high profile.
Well, my very first gig was a 2-hour set at the Del Mar Fair.
Yeah.
Well, technically second, because we played with Stats before that, I think.
Right.
But I don't know.
That was like an open mic showcase thing.
Yeah, it was like some,
And we played some boba bar thing.
Oh, right next to Youth Venture and CMT. That's right.
But yeah, so we played...
Well, Ryan lost my mic stand.
Mm-hmm, cool. It's $20.
I've been loaning you my mic stand without a word for the past almost 2 years.
But I have to bring this up at least once a year for the rest of your life, because I've committed to it at this point.
I see. I'll be taking my mic stand back when we get home.
But then, so Danny Marie Band did its thing for right about 2 years. And then there was a whole nother series of life changes, including Ryan moving to Nashville the first time. So I was not in a band, not playing worship. My best music friend moved out of town, and I had all this energy to do musical things, which is where my obsession that I have now with hoarding gear and getting all the fancy things came, because I couldn't do anything. So I'm like, I got to have all the things.
So did you tried to replace a friend with gear?
Mm-hmm.
And how's that panned out?
They haven't moved to Nashville.
Fill the
Fair
hole in the
enough.
heart
So
pretty well.
so it's a success is what you're saying. Yes.
So yeah, that's where the gear, I've always been the type of person that I like to know what my stuff is and what it does, but having a passion for knowing about all the things really took over during that time, because I had no other outlet for it until I eventually built a studio in a very small storage space, and then got to start recording and playing again. But I still keep hoarding. And I have a new band called Sun Cub. I think I have a new band.
You're not sure?
I don't know. We haven't practiced in months. So
That's not a great indicator.
no,
It's not great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
Nope. Played one show. We have an EP out, and that's it.
Oh. So how did you become the whore of the internet?
True.
The horror of the internet started.
A place known for whores.
Yeah, how did that start? That would have been after you left, for sure, because I don't think Instagram existed then, or if it did, it was in its infancy. I don't know how it really started. I think it was with 60 Cycle Hum guys, because they started their podcast, and somebody's like, hey, you should listen to this cool guitar podcast since you like gear. And I started listening to it, and they mentioned the band that they were in together called Your Favorite Band. I'm like, I know those guys. Wait a minute. These guys must be local to me. And this was like in their 3rd or 4th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did my research and found out who they were. And then because I had this weird connection to them and they're local and my name is short and memorable and weird, like I was on their show several times in the early years and people just started recognizing my name. And then I wanted this really nice guitar and I ordered a really nice custom built guitar just for me and started posting that on the internet that I got this cool guitar. And because people recognized my name from 60 Cycle Hum and thought that I mattered and I had this custom guitar.
You matter.
You matter the
I
most.
had this custom guitar that cost a lot of money that I went through with this whole process of ordering. People started messaging me and asking me like, oh, what was the process like? What, it's like, I've always thought about it, but it's scary because you're sending them all this money. Are you ever going to get it? Is it going to be any good? So it turned into this thing where I was like, kind of not coaching people, but telling like, building people up like, oh, you can do it if you want to do it and just save your money.
You can buy a guitar.
Yeah, you can buy a guitar.
It's possible for you.
You can spend a lot of money on a guitar. And, so that it like started to build my reputation as this guy.
And you have that guitar.
I do. Yeah.
Still.
Yes. It's not on the wall
I
right
was
now.
looking. I was like, is it there?
It doesn't live on the wall. That one lives in the case most of the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's like a Maserati of guitars. So
What is it?
I do keep my
Roni.
Maserati in the case.
Ah.
yeah. So that kind of like just got the ball rolling. And that builder, Roni, at the time, he had a podcast going for guitar builders that
Called The Lutherist?
The Lutherist. Yeah. I don't think it's anywhere on the internet anymore because they stopped doing it. And I think he just let all his hosting stuff lapse. So I don't think it's actually out there anywhere.
Oh.
He had talked about putting it all on a
Something to
Google.
keep in mind.
He thought,
Yeah, I'm like, I don't like backup all our episodes because I'm like, they're on the freaking internet.
Right.
he said he was going to put them all in a Google Drive type of thing at one point and put a link out there for people if they wanted to download them all. I don't know if he ever did. I don't know. But
So it's called The Lutheran?
Lutherist.
And he was talking about church things?
Yeah.
The Lutheran?
He got that joke all the time.
Oh, dang it. I hate how unoriginal my brain is.
Yeah, it's okay. We love that about you. But yeah, he talked about me on his podcast, which was primarily for guitar builders, which gave me this like leg into talking to guitar builders after already being in front of the consumer audience on 60 Cycle Hum and then being in front of the builder audience through the Lutherist. Like it kind of created a reputation for me. Totally undeserving reputation.
What was the reputation?
Just the guy that knows a lot of stuff about guitars and like is into high end stuff. I'm like, I bought one.
They have one high-end guitar and like 30 shitty ones.
Yeah. I have a lot more high end ones now, but
Right.
so it like created this thing. It like made me an authority is what it did. It made me an authority on stuff and talking to some people in that industry and the whole social media part of guitar culture. And they said, well, you created this. You didn't do it intentionally, but people see you as an authority. Lean into it and become that authority. And then I did for a while. And then I joined the Flippin Flippers podcast, which I think hurt a little bit because flipping has a bad like reputation in the community, even though I love doing the podcast most of the time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with
Flipping gear has a bad reputation.
There's certain people that do it in ways that are sketchy.
Okay. I
Like,
see.
So,
Because I was thinking like when 60 Cycle Hum started, they talked a ton about buying and selling
right.
gear.
They talked a lot
Yeah.
about buying and selling on Craigslist
That's right.
and eBay and whatever and selling it to get better gear. The people that give it a bad reputation are the ones that, oh, this pedal company is going to be doing a limited release of whatever. So they wait until midnight when it goes live and they buy all of them and then put them on Reverb the next day for 3 times the price.
Scalpers, essentially.
Yeah,
Equivalent of
scalpers.
scalpers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, gear
Which
scalpers.
is, I mean, that's no way to be part of a community. It's just a way to make a buck.
Right.
So it's a different thing.
But that
Yeah.
is also, most people consider that flipping. So it's kind of there's some gray areas in that world, and I mean, as far as from my perspective, I'm not good at flipping because I like to keep everything,
as is evidenced by the room around us.
Yeah, I buy things. There's been a few things recently that I've bought that were a great deal because I'm like, oh, I can flip that for sure, and make a couple $100, and then I get it, and I'm like, I got to plug it in to make sure it works, and I play it, I'm like, I'm not getting rid of this. Like, so I have a problem with it. Paul is my co-host on the Flippin Flippers podcast. Really, not my co-host. I'm his co-host. It's his podcast. He started it. He'll probably do it after I die.
Co-host.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought of that joke earlier today. I meant to say, like, tonight we have a co-guest. But then I forgot.
Yeah. It's all right.
It's all right.
2020
you can add it in
hindsight.
post.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020.
No. 2020 hindsight
Oh,
for this year.
that's
That makes less sense.
that's not the
That's not how
the
saying
phrase
is.
though.
What?
Yeah, it's not the saying.
That's
the phrase.
That's not what people say.
Yeah, it's hindsight is 2020.
Well, I know, first off, I know people say hindsight is 2020, but also you can say, people do say 2020 hindsight to mean the same thing. That is said already. But for this year, I have 2020 hindsight.
I don't like it. I like it less now than I did before.
True,
Well,
it makes less sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make less sense. Look it up. People say 2020 hindsight all the time.
I mean,
Maybe.
maybe
I've never
I
heard
don't
it.
like it more because you just used it to correct me.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But yeah, so I Paul's way better at flipping. He flips. That's actually what he does for a living.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he just goes to thrift stores and Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and buys stuff and sells it on eBay
Wow.
and back on Reverb or wherever. And that's how he supports. He's got 3 kids and a wife and a mortgage and all that. And so he's really good at it. And he's very particular about the things he's emotionally attached to that he doesn't get rid of. And he sells what he has to. So
I'd have a hard time at that too.
Yeah.
I would be like you. I do, whenever I buy gear for my studio, I do think about like the resale value, and everything I buy is at kind of a crazy deal,
yeah.
but I am buying it for me to use it. But
Right.
as it pertains to studio gear, but I do think specifically like, cool if because a lot of times I'm stretching myself to be able to afford it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay because if I wanted to resell it, I could resell it at a profit.
Yeah.
But the fact is I don't want to resell any of it, and I hope I never have to.
Yep.
So if I were to do it, I feel like I couldn't do studio stuff as a business. I feel like I would have to do something I don't care about as much.
So Paul doesn't do a lot of guitar stuff. So he sells guitar stuff like when he has to because he likes to hang on to his guitar stuff. But his thrift stores and the advice that he's given me that has worked out a couple times, he's like, anything new in package, look it up. He's like, don't be shy. Don't care if anybody's watching. Grab it off if it's in the package still at a thrift store, pick it up, scan it because the eBay app will scan things and see how much they're selling for. He's like, because it's worth it. And so that's panned out for me a couple of times. Last year around Christmas time, for $9, I think it was, I got this Bluetooth headset for truckers. It was new in package, and I sold it for $85 on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah. So things like that. And concert tees. So he said, if you can't do anything else, if you're at a thrift store, if you're short on time, he's like, go to the t-shirts, go to the black shirts, like the color black, and go through them. Because he's like, concert t-shirts, band t-shirts are always black. He's like, and they're always $3 or $4. He's like, but if they are like 94 or older, they're going to sell for at least $25.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's like, there's obviously the ones that sell for more and are worth a lot more because of who's on them. He's like, but it doesn't matter. You're always going to make a profit on them.
And I've just told the world.
Yep. How many listeners you guys got regularly?
3,000 million?
That's I think we're at 3,000,007
Okay.
now.
Nice,
So
nice.
we're getting up there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a cool thing. He does that. He buys shoes a lot. Like he says he usually feels kind of weird because he'll go in and he'll buy a whole cart full of women's shoes. And I mean, he's like, they're obviously not my size. Like, so
I've tried that before. for a couple months, I was like going to estate sales and
Yeah.
garage sales and buying stuff and trying to sell it on Craigslist. And it was fine. I just didn't have a job for a couple months, and I was like, I can make money doing this.
Yeah.
And I did, and I made a few $100s in a month or whatever.
Yeah.
And but what I realized is I really enjoy going to find the cool stuff and buying it, but then I have to like list it
Yep.
and then follow up
Oh,
and
man.
then meet people or ship it.
His whole basement
It's the worst.
is devoted to like he has shelving and everything set up. He's got storage and a shipping center down there and everything. He's all dialed in. But that's how he pays for everything. That's all of his life. So I did a month or two ago, always looking for the deals, and I found a 90s Electro Harmonix Deluxe Memory Man, a delay pedal, a very chorusy, vibrato-y, like pitch modulates all over the place delay. It was a safe one for me to buy and I think the guy had it listed for $150. He had it listed for $150. I recognized it. They sell for $350 to $400 on the regular on Reverb.
Oh, wow.
And he was not local. He was like 3-hour drive away. So messaged him immediately. Hey, if I throw in an extra $15, will you ship it to me? And he said, yep. And so I got it for $165. I plugged it in to make sure it works. I hate modulated delay, so I was not tempted to keep it whatsoever. And I put it on Reverb at $450 because a lot of them were in that $400 to $450 range that were listed.
Wow.
Got an offer for $375, took it.
Nice.
Yeah. So it made $210.
Flippin'
I had
Flipper.
I had it for less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Flippin' Flippers is what I do now.
Okay. And which people can find all over anywhere you get your podcasts.
We are on all the podcast places, even Spotify.
I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't know.
Distinction made it weird.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I don't know. That's something people always say.
I want to talk about the pedals.
Which ones?
Those ones there, the ones that you help build,
Okay. Well, I
Or
did not help
design,
build them.
or conceptualize, or bring those out. Let's talk about that. Like,
Okay.
and I believe you said you hand wired each one yourself
Abso-friggin-lutely.
and designed the electronics from scratch. Okay, so we've got two
There's
pedals
a camera,
here.
so we could do this, right?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
hold it up to the camera.
You might want to go closer because it's kind of. But there's
Does
the
this mess up the focus? Does it autofocus?
nope.
No, it's all manual.
Be a man. Manual focus. Okay, so
It's meant to be stepped on.
Yeah, fair enough. Literally called a
so you've
stomp
got we
box.
have
Yeah.
here we have the stack
Yes.
and the half horse.
Yes.
Where did these come from? What are they? What do they do? What
Okay.
was your involvement?
So the story on the half horse was before this, before the stack. So Kevin Equitz is a guitar builder.
Equitz Guitars.
Equitz Guitars. I was at a guitar show, and he knew me from 60 Cycle Hum Facebook group, and the Luthiers.
Back when you were the authority.
Yeah, the Luthiers podcast. And he saw me at the guitar show and he's like, hey, check out this guitar I built. And I said, okay. And I played it and it was amazing and it's awesome. And we got to chatting and he's like, so what are you up to? And I told him about my one day events that was right when I was starting one day.
Which we got to definitely hear a little more about.
Yeah. So I was just starting one day and he's like, yeah, thanks a lot, Jerry.
Every time I hit the timer button.
And so we're talking about it, and he's like, I'd love to build a guitar with you. And I'm like, well, first of all, I cannot build a guitar. I am not good at woodworking, and I wouldn't even know where to start, and that's not something I even want to do.
So no.
And
No, thank you.
I mean, that's a little bit exaggerating for laughs, obviously.
Wasn't obvious.
oh, okay.
I've known you so long that I'm like, you would say that. How was he so persistent in getting past that?
Well, and he told me, he's like, no, I don't want you to build it. He's like, I'll build it, but I want to collaborate. I want to design the guitar with you and come up with ideas to make it cool and like make people want it.
Sure.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, that I can do. Like I can do ideas. Like as long as you don't ask me to physically do anything, I'm okay with that. And so he's like, this is my body shape this new body shape I'm working with, and I want to do something cool with it. Like, what do you think? I'm like, give me some time to think about it. I don't know. It looks like it's done. I don't know what to do. And so thought about it for a while, thought about some things that I liked and just different ideas from the past. And I pitched the idea to him. What if we put a fuzz pedal in the guitar?
Whoa.
And he's like, well, that's been done before. That's not like anything like super crazy. And I'm like, yeah, well, and like there was a whole back and forth, and like the nuts and bolts of it were people that did it in like the 60s. There was cool circuits that they used. Don't get me wrong. Like they used cool things. There was cool stuff done. But every guitar in the past that had any built-in effect looked like a freaking spaceship control console on the front of it. And knobs and switches and like dials and all kinds of stuff everywhere. And that's not his aesthetic at all. Equit's guitars are, I wouldn't say that they're minimalist, but they're classy.
Yeah, they're
Like,
classic.
Okay.
They're classy. They're classic. There's one right there. I'll point to it now. The blue one.
Against the blue wall.
Yeah.
See the strings hovering in midair?
So I was like, no, we'll do it bare bones. It'll look good. It won't look like a spaceship. I'm like, and we're gonna get a name to make the fuzz. Like, let's try and get somebody involved that people would care is involved. And he's like, I don't know anybody. I'm like, I know somebody. I know Pelican Noiseworks. Leon.
It's a pelican, Ryan.
Yeah. Pelican Rain. Leon at Pelican Noiseworks. He had a big hit with a pedal that he put out called the Pelotar. That's a really big, nasty, awesome fuzz. And it looks like a Klon. And he released it on April Fool's Day. And so everybody thought it was a joke because it came out and everybody thought, oh, another Klon clone. But then they heard it and it's just this big fuzz sound, which a Klon is a very clean, like treble-y, like mid-hump type of overdrive type of thing. And so everybody was expecting that, but then they heard it and like, oh, it's a fuzz. And everybody thought it was a joke, but it was a real product. And that was how he launched his company. And so people started buying them up, snatching them up, and it became real popular. And so I talked to him, and I was like, yeah, so we want to build this guitar with a fuzz in it. I'm like, how small of a fuzz circuit can you make? I'm like, can you make it where it'll fit in a humbucker pickup route, like cavity?
Pretty small.
Because that's what we want to work with. And he's like, oh, yeah, fuzzes are super easy. I'm like, okay. Like, well, here's the idea. I'm like, it needs to fit in this amount of space. I want one knob and a switch to turn it on. And I want it to be able to sound like David Gilmour or Jack White, which are like some very opposite spectrums of the fuzz world.
Now, I know Jack White, but who's David Gilmour?
Pink Floyd.
Oh.
So very opposite fuzz sounds. Like David Gilmour's very precise and like not clean, but smooth and, Pink Floyd sound. And Jack White's obviously like harsh and brash and like wild. So he went to work, and what he came up with was this circuit that was, I want to say it's the left half of his Pelotar circuit, which we're not going to get into the weeds about the Pelotar circuit, but it's the left half of the Pelotar circuit,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. And it fits onto a PCB about the size of a 9-volt battery.
Oh, wow.
It's powered by a 9-volt battery. And so we went back and forth with the prototype. He'd ship it out to me. I'd play with it and tell him the settings I'd like. He'd tweak things. And then he made these circuit boards that fit in the guitar. And we made the guitar. Like, that guitar right there has a fuzz pedal built inside of it.
You want to hold it up for the
You
camera?
want to grab it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Closer. I hold it all the time, so
So
Oh
what
my
is
God,
this,
I get to touch it?
treat yourself.
what is this guitar called?
This is the Fuzz Rayburn by Equit's Guitars.
I'll bring it up close here. So
Now,
you can see
is there a normal Rayburn?
There is a normal Rayburn. So the Rayburn is the body shape. So the rest of the aesthetic is the fuzz.
Look sexier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show a little skin there, Dre.
I see on the back the 9-volt.
Yeah, and then on the
That's
back that's for
fuzz?
the fuzz. And if you look at the back of the headstock, it's got the Coe logo and the Pelican Noiseworks logo as well. And on the front, it's got the Equits. And so we came up with a color scheme for it of like a. So this one is mostly blue. Is that
That's
because
what it's called, or
what it's called?
just-
That's
okay.
what we call this color, mostly blue.
Why?
Because the other color is mostly glue, which is our white color. Because they make glue out of
It's a
horses.
way better answer than I expected to get from that question.
They make make glue out of horses.
They make horses out of glue.
Yes, horses. And then
I always knew horses weren't real.
the third color was Take My Money Gold, which is like a gold color.
Not mostly gold.
No, we broke form.
I see.
And then
Very meta guitar.
yeah, that's what happens when you get three guys working on it that are really into it. And then Leon from Pelican liked the circuit so much that he said, "Hey, do you guys mind if I like change this a little bit and turn it into a pedal for my brand?" And we said, well, yeah, duh. And so that's where the half horse came from, which has a can of glue, a blue that matches my guitar, and a white, and kind of like this, not gold because his other pedal's gold, but the tannish color.
Now the graphic.
Well, okay, so it comes from, the circuit is an excerpt out of
Okay.
the Pelotar.
So the graphic
So
is an excerpt of a horse.
Well, the Pelotar,
yeah, I mean, I've seen the Pelotar.
so look at the graphic on the Pelotar. Tell me what it is. His company name is Pelican
you know what?
Noiseworks.
I had never really analyzed it. Like when I saw it, I just thought it was a bird. But now I see it is not a bird.
No.
It is a
Pelotar.
pelican and a horse, which is is
Because
that what a centaur just a combo of a horse and something else? Is that what a centaur is?
Man, yeah,
So it's right, but I mean, so Pelotar is a pelican horse. I
Yeah.
assume that's where we're going.
So, so this is half of that circuit. So it's half of a horse.
With tiny
it's a
little
half-
T-Rex arms.
Half horse.
Yeah.
Just these little dangly things. You're kind of woohoo.
So that's the story of the half horse.
And it has
Now, is it for sale still?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so you guys can Google it.
Yep.
Or go Pelican
And
Noiseworks.
so it's a super usable fuzz that can borderline on overdrive territory. Blah blah blah. It's all the same lingo that everybody sells their fuzzes with.
right. Just listen to a sound thing.
I
and if
love
you like
this.
it, then buy
It's
it.
it is one of my favorites.
And
People,
you're not biased at all.
new, but people have said it's been said that it is the fuzz
Yeah.
for people that don't like fuzz.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
now
They have not said that about the Pelotar.
That's a fuzz for people who
This
do
is a-
like fuzz.
This is a fuzz for people who like fuzz.
so if I recall, there's the grain knob,
Yep, which is gain.
just with a horse pun.
Yeah.
And this is like how distorted it's gonna get. But this sound knob
Yes.
goes from like really full sounding to choked and broken.
So it kind of serves two functions. So it's the sound knob because death to tone. Tone is stupid and everybody wants the best tone. We don't look for tone. We're looking for a good sound. So it's a sound knob. And
Okay.
it does function as a tone knob. All the way counterclockwise is like your more low end, getting rid of the trebly stuff. All the way clockwise is very trebly high end. But then it also, it starts to gate, and I think I think it's affecting the biasing of the circuit. So it's starving it of voltage. So it starts to get really sputtery and like weird glitchy once you get all the way over clockwise. And then output is how much comes out.
How much sound comes out.
How much sound
Nothing
comes
else
out.
comes out of the pedal.
So
as far as we know.
that one in that like one interaction with Kevin, you helped with the design of a guitar and then
You
the
might say
design
he
of a pedal.
birthed
Burst.
You burst this monstrosity.
Yeah. So that was cool.
I really love how giant that
knob is.
Knob is.
I still have the prototype. I should show you.
Okay. Oh, is it an even bigger knob? I hope so.
No, but this is the prototype he sent me.
Same size knob.
I remember that.
I'm like,
You're like, it's half the pedal.
can we please keep the big knob? And he's like, absolutely. That was
These
my
knobs
plan
on the
all
side
along.
are really interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, because it's prototype. He
Yeah.
did tell me, he's like, do not ever open that. Is what he
Because it like will fall apart, or
said-
because he doesn't want you to see the secrets inside in the magical
No,
leprechaun
because
magic.
he said you will never close it again. It will never close. It's like Pandora's box.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this was the one, and it's got my markings on the side because so the guitar only has one knob, right? Which is the sounds knob on the pedal.
Okay.
The output and the grain are on trim pots inside, so that they like you can see my markings on here of what I liked. He set those trim pots to be kind of
Okay.
in that realm, and then I could affect the sounds.
So you could technically open that guitar and change it if you wanted?
Yeah.
But for the average user,
It's set where I like it.
Well, for the average user, it's set where Coe likes it, not necessarily where they like it.
Yeah.
But they have the option to change it if they want. They just got to
Right.
They just got to dig into it.
Yeah, and so that guitar there is limited to I think we said seven
Total.
total
Okay.
of that model,
Including yours?
including mine.
Wow.
So there is I believe there's 3, and then there's a 4th, and I think maybe a 5th being built currently, and then it doesn't leave a whole lot left, but
Right.
yeah.
But if you want one, you can get on it still right now.
Yeah,
There's still
and-
2 more.
Yeah, and you guys should have Kevin on your show. He's
Yeah,
local to you
absolutely.
now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lives in Nashville now.
That would be awesome. We've never had a builder.
Yeah. So
It's true.
you should. And he can give you another spiel about that. And he'll probably tell that story differently.
And
Maybe
that's okay.
better.
And not only differently and better,
We'll find out.
but he'll sound more articulate than I do.
Well, it depends how
And
much scotch we make him
and
drink first.
Smarter than me, because he is. And nicer than me, because he is.
Let's dive into your low self-esteem, shall we? Where did this come from?
It's just, you use humor to keep people at a
Mask
distance.
the pain.
Okay, now this other pedal, the stack.
Stack.
The stack.
The stack. Where did this come from?
So that is a result of the Flippin Flippers podcast. So for NAM, Winter NAM last year, which is different than Summer NAM.
Winter NAM is the big NAM in LA.
Yeah, Anaheim.
Anaheim. LA.
Difference matters. Disneyland is in Anaheim. LA is a hot pile of garbage.
Yeah, that is very true. So 6 months ish before NAM, Paul is a big ideas guy. He's a big ideas guy. So he tells me, hey, we should release a limited edition pedal at NAM. I'm like, okay, Paul.
You're like, we don't make pedals.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're not asking me to physically do anything, we're good.
I'm more than happy to talk about it, though.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'll put some feelers out and see if anybody's interested. And so he contacted Solid Gold Effects, which is a pedal company out of Canada who we've worked with on our show. We have a bit called That Pedal Thing, where builders send us pedals. We just do like a talking review. We don't really play them on the podcast or anything like that. We just talk about it and then send them back to the builder. So we'd worked with them on a couple of those things. And he messaged them like, hey, we want to do a pedal to release at NAM. Would you be interested? And they said, yes. I'm like, oh, damn, we got to come up with an idea now. And so they're like, yeah, what do you want to do? I'm like, we could do a fuzz. And like, maybe. You want to flesh that out a little bit? And Paul's like, no, we're going to do a dual thing. It's going to be like a drive and a boost. I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. And so one of my favorite pedals that they make is the BC 549 boost, which is a simple one knob boost. and it is a dirty boost. Now, there's various ranges of boosts. There's treble boosts, there's mid boosts, there's clean boosts, there's dirty boosts, which are less common. People don't usually want dirty boosts. Usually people want to get something that either colors their EQ curve or is just like clean, just everything up type of deal. But they make one that it's almost an overdrive pedal by itself. And I love it, and it's great. And so I said, okay, let's figure this out. I just want the boost to be based on this boost of theirs if we're going to do this. And they said, we can do that. What do you want for the drive? I don't know. Paul figured out the drive. Now that I know what it is, they decided on a like germanium take bend on their Zeta drive, which is one of their drives. And so this is similar to their Zeta Deluxe, except it's got the germanium take on the drive channel, and the normal Zeta Deluxe has a clean boost on the boost side, but this one has the dirty boost. So we got it together, decided to go with the stack because everybody stacks their pedals. You have an amp stack, and we decided, well, we're going to call it the stack. And you know what? At NAMM, we're going to do a pancake breakfast because you have a stack of pancakes. And so that's where the graphic came from.
What do you mean stack? Like you stack your plugins? Does that have to do with
Pedals.
stack your pedals?
You do plug pedals in. It's just that people stack their drives is a pretty common term.
Meaning you put together several drives?
Yeah, you line them up. In the P-dub culture, praise and worship culture.
Is P-dub what people call it?
Yes, people that make fun of it, yes.
Okay.
In the guitar community?
Yes. The praise and worship culture, players, for some reason, they like to get like 13 million light overdrives, and then to get like a thick overdrive sound, they stack all their light overdrives. It's like you can buy one to do all of them. But they like to stack them and make and click them on type of deal. And I make fun of that, but whatever. It's like everybody can do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
So it's just called stack because it has multiple drives built all into one
kind of
thing.
It's got a dirty boost and a drive. And you can stack them, but it's also because it's got a pancake stack on it.
Right. It's more of a play on words than it
it's
is
a
for
play
the
on
actual
words
built-in
and
pedal. Yeah.
anything, really.
And now it's broken.
Meant to be
Thanks,
stepped on.
Ryan.
Stepped on, not thrown.
So you got a short stack and a whole stack button.
Yep. The short stack is the boost. The whole stack is the drive.
And we have more, butter, syrup, and more.
Yeah. So the
More
mores
is
are
input.
the volume.
And output.
Nope. So you got to think of it as two channels. So these two toggles and this knob are the boost with this switch. These three knobs and these
And
three
for the
toggles.
podcast listeners, he's pointing at a bunch of knobs and toggles.
Yeah. So these and these control the drive side.
Okay.
This one is actually, I said it was for the boost. It's not. This is flip, because we're the Flippin Flippers, and
Makes
you flip
sense.
pancakes. And it flips the order.
This is one giant dad joke.
And it flips the order of which one's first
I
in
see.
the chain or in the stack.
In the stack.
Yeah.
And so tell me about developing this. Like, what was your role in that, or Paul's
I
role?
said I
y'all's
want
role?
the dirty boost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that it?
That was pretty much it on that one. I mean, they
Can I have a
sent,
dirty
One
boost?
sentence.
they sent it to us like, okay, check it out. See
Is
if
that
we-
what design's like?
see if you need any revisions. What do you think? Blah blah blah. And I plugged it in. I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. Like they nailed it on the first try.
And what was the company again?
Solid Gold Effects. Great guys. We're actually, I don't know when this is coming out, but if that's something you're interested in, we're doing the version 2 this year at NAMM. We are opening pre-order because that's the way we did this last year. Is we didn't build a batch of them because that requires money up front, and we is poor. So we did a pre-order thing, which Solid Gold was gracious enough to let us do. So we just, however many we sold was how many were getting built.
Oh, wow.
And so we did that, and we're doing that again this year. Orders to the general public are going up on the 7th of January. And I don't know how long we're going to run them. Last year, we only ran them to the end of NAMM. But this year, I think we might go to the end of January just because why not? And that's going concurrent with NAMM and our pancake breakfast that we're doing again and all that. And it's white this year. Sparkly white with like a raspberry purple trim on all the writing and everything. It's
cool looking.
It's very cool looking.
So, but it's the same internals?
Same internals, just a different look this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
And for any of the people who weren't able to get it last year, which I've seen several times on your social media, just your personal social media, people like, oh, I wanted to get that pedal. I'm trying to get my hands on it.
Yeah.
It's a very...
I think
how many are there?
I think we did 23, 24, 25, right around there.
Oh, wow.
Last
So there's
year.
not that many.
Not a lot last year, yeah.
It's a very rare pedal.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen a couple of them go up on the used market because, not everybody likes everything, and people go through hard times. So,
and for the people who are interested in buying one, they can pre-order once NAMM starts, it sounds like.
The 7th, so a week,
the 7th.
Week before NAMM, they'll go up.
How much are they going? How much are you guys pre-order?
$250.
$250 for pre-order. Okay.
Yep.
Which is actually a pretty good deal, considering it's two pedals.
Yeah.
And like boutique pedals can go for a lot more than that.
They can. And that puts it in the same price range as their Zeta Deluxe, which was important to us to not like undercut their normal product, really. You know? So.
Yeah. And then now you're working on a new guitar.
Yeah. So NAMM last year, we did that thing with the pedal and normal NAMM show stuff and hanging out and everything. And afterwards, Jonathan Fellows of Fellows Guitar. No.
I'm Jonathan Fellows.
I knew it was coming.
I was going to hold back because I did it so much on our little podcast we did the other night.
Yeah, that's all right. He approached us about helping him design a guitar. So he's been a builder for a handful of years, but only kind of like hobbyist. But he's getting to the point where he's thinking about looking towards retiring from his day job, and he wants to build guitars for his income in retirement. So he wants to bolster his model list. And he said, hey, you guys could probably design a guitar faster than me, and we'll do a collaboration. You guys design the guitar, and it'll be my model afterwards. I'll, essentially buy the design off of you, and we'll go from there. And so Paul and I spent a couple of months batting ideas and designs around back and forth at each other and never agreeing on anything. And we sent I think 4 designs to Jonathan Fellows, and he said, okay, this is a good start. Let me tell you why I'm not going to use any of these.
That was a happy day.
Yeah. And so he's like, there's some good ideas here, but you need to, let's focus in here. And so Paul and I went back to it, and we both had some ideas that Paul was able to put together on the computer because he's like a graphic design and photo guy, so he's good on that stuff. And he put our ideas together, and we did some tweaks and revisions and talked to each other and came up with something that we sent to Jonathan. This time we came with him with one idea that was unlike any of the other ones we sent him, and he's like, that's the one.
Nice. So you design it like you plan it out with plans and everything, almost like an architect would a building.
Right, yeah. So all my
guitar
stuff,
architect.
all my stuff,
Guitarchitect.
I did by hand.
Like that.
Yeah, Guitarchitect. I do like that.
Ooh,
That's
that might be the title of the episode.
Yeah.
Coe Schneider, Guitarchitect.
Yeah, so we have that model. The first,
Does it have a name yet?
yes, the first completed versions of it are going to be at NAMM. The
Does
F3.
it have a oh yeah.
What?
F3.
F3.
Yes.
Fuck!
Yeah, was F1 and 2 both taken?
No.
The
So-
domains were taken.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
No, it's Fellows Flippin Flippers.
Okay, yeah.
Also, Jonathan lives near an Air Force base where I think one of the number one jets that flies out of there, or they're known for flying out of there, is the F3 Demon. So
It's a really aggressive name.
yeah,
So this guitar is evil then.
yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's what. And there was 3 of us working on it, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
yep.
F's the 4th letter in the alphabet. Is it A, B, C, D? Fuck! The F. Oh, there's that F again. It's the 6th. I feel like as you're going further and deeper into these names, I'm like, I think somebody thought F3 and then figured out every way that could apply to anything.
that was me. Yeah, I figured it out afterwards. Yeah. No, I think Jonathan thought about the fellows Flippin Flippers. I think that was his thing. And then I'm like, oh, the demon, or maybe he was the demon and I did the fellows Flippin Flippers. Also, if you look at the design, which you get, it's actually that sticker on the door right there. The other F3 in my mind,
Offset?
yeah, in my mind is the fellows flat front, which is what I wanted to call it, because one of its unique design features is that the top horn and the bottom horn is a straight line.
Oh yeah.
Like take a ruler, it's a straight line.
Oh yeah. It's kind of unique.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that was one of our unique things that we added in there to give it more of like a 60s Japanese guitar vibe.
When I look at it, I realized the other night when you and I were here that it looks almost like the atomic boomerang shape
Yeah.
that's on like tables and stuff, Formica tables from the 50s.
Mhm.
And not just almost, I mean like almost identical. Like I feel like that is the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh my gosh,
Atomic age boomerang.
that's an
yeah.
atomic age shape, and which I'm super into. And all of a sudden now I'm like, ooh, I really want this guitar. I'm like, this is becoming my new favorite guitar shape.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask him how
Oh,
much
I
one would be
see.
for you.
Huh?
I'll send him shoot him
Yeah.
a message and see what
I
we
feel
can
like
do.
I want me some like candy apple red.
There is a candy apple red one in the batch, but I think that one's already paid for. So
I'll double it. No, just kidding.
sold.
Like, I will not double it. For the record.
Did you
This
look
is
up
not
the
a binding
the boomerang?
contract. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw it too.
You want to take your phone off the desk?
Before it vibrates again.
Yeah, whore. Yeah, this is like one. This is the classic pattern. Oh, Home Depot sells this in a laminate sheet.
Oh no.
I need that for my studio.
Can't for some reason it doesn't let me zoom into that, but nice try,
What's
Coe.
wrong with your phone?
Nothing. It's the website, the Home Depot website. It's not me. Oh, there we go. Now I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can see that from this distance.
No.
Ah!
Let's see. It's
Just superimpose it over the
Entire
the
episode.
more
Yeah.
I look at it, the
Entire
less
episode.
identical it seems. However,
Atomic Boomerang's not
it's
a bad episode title either.
It would fit in.
Yeah.
It fits in with this era of.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's based off like even that flat line across the front, which is something that we did to kind of give it that 60s Japanese guitar vibe, like the offset waist and like the lower bout on the backside is all very 60s Fender, like, which is right in that atomic age stuff. So it makes sense that you would see those parallels, Ryan.
Gosh, now I have to figure out what this laminate sheet from Home Depot with the boomerang pattern is. I got to get that in my studio somewhere. I just have to figure out what the sheet is to know what it's going to do in the studio.
All right. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
those guitars go to sale at NAMM. We're going to introduce at NAMM.
They're going to be introduced at NAMM. Like I said, we have a batch of 9 right now that are in completion stages. 3 of them will be ready and done at NAMM, at least maybe 1 or 2 more. And most of those are already sold of the 9. I don't remember if all of them are yet. So
The 9, it's like the Fellowship of the Ring.
is it?
You're
Yeah.
a huge nerd.
And he's Jonathan Fellows.
Jonathan Fellows.
Oh my
And
God.
it's an F. Fellowship of the Ring. There are 9. 3 rings to roll.
9 is divisible by 3.
Oh my God. 9 minus 3 is 6. 3 sixes is 666, the sign of the devil.
Is F the 6th letter in the alphabet?
Yes.
It is.
Oh my
I had
God.
to check twice. I
One
messed up the
guitar
first
to
time.
rule them all.
You better edit that part out.
What if this guitar? What if this
The
guitar?
Illuminati.
What if this guitar ushers in the apocalypse?
It might. It very well might.
It might.
With 2020 hindsight, you would say, "Let's not build this guitar."
But I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. So you accidentally became a guitar
Designer. Yeah, Guitarchitect.
Guitarchitect. It's easy. It's an easy word. Don't fuck
It
it
reminds
up.
me of Area Katarka.
Yeah, good song.
Yeah.
Guitarchitect.
Guitarchitect.
Coe,
See,
Guitarchitect.
Previously, the title I was going with was actually coined when Ryan and I went to Portland. Boom. Still got it. Was that I was the boutique guitar evangelist. Out there preaching the good news of boutique guitars.
Which is a good segue, because a second ago I was just thinking, tell us about boutique guitars, because it stands out as so interesting when you're like, we're making 9 guitars. I'm like, to me, when a company makes a product,
they're
and
like, we're making
guitars,
several 100,000 of these.
I'm like, I figure like there's like they're making 100,000 Strats a year, like on an assembly line.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's Strats. This is a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So boutique. Is that what you want? You want a definition?
Yeah. Well, or yeah.
Webster's
just,
dictionary defines
evangelize.
boutique.
Oh my god. No. Tell me about boutique guitars for the people who know nothing about it. You know.
Okay, so they're not always, but usually custom built for the customer. Boutique typically has to do with like quantity of that a builder can produce. Now, there's a huge range within that boutique because nobody agrees on anything ever.
Sure.
So like Roni, the first boutique guitar I got, he's one guy. He built all of them pretty much by himself. And he can do one at a time. Sometimes he would do batches of a couple here and there, but like he does one guitar. Jonathan Fellows, same thing. Kevin Equitz, he has he tries to do batches of like 3 or 4. Now they're not always the same model like we're doing with the F3, but typically it's one guy working by himself, whether he has a shop or a garage or a tool shed, whatever it is. It's usually some degree of hand built, some degree of custom to the customer's spec, and just there's a whole wide range there. But it's small. It's not your big names, not your Fenders, not your Gibsons, Ibanez, and you're not going to see them at Guitar Center. If you do see a boutique guitar at Guitar Center, it's probably super cheap because nobody's going to know what it is, and you should buy it to flip.
Now, how many did like, for instance, Paul Roney or Kevin Equitz or any of these guys, how much do they average a year? Are they able to make?
Shoot, I wish I could remember what Kevin told me. His last solid production year, which was right before he moved to Nashville, which that set him back for 2019 because he moved across the country and had to get all set up again.
Yeah.
But I want to say he did I think the range was 8 to 12 in 2018. I don't know why. Those are the two numbers that come to my mind. I could be wrong.
Not a lot.
I could be wrong. Yeah.
You said that was for 2019?
2018.
18.
So when you buy a custom guitar, you have something that very few other people have, or maybe nobody else has.
Right. So like my Roni is completely unique to me. One, because I'm a pain in the ass customer, which I have learned since then. I was unaware at the time.
I feel like we need more details for that.
Well, okay, so I played one of his guitars at NAMM, and I was like, I got to have this. I want it. And so he's like, just call me anytime. We'll figure it out. And so once I got up the nuts to call him and like, this is going to cost a lot of money. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, I just do this. And I called him. And we went through it, and he told me about his different body shapes and everything. And I was like, okay, well, I think I really like your Oceana body shape, and I kind of know I want this bridge set up, like, but I don't really know anything else. And he's like, okay, well, he sent me pictures of his Oceanas with that bridge set up and kind of talked me through some other options. And I'm like, well, I noticed that all your Oceanas with that bridge, they have this little butt thing to them, like there's like a nice carve, like a bevel carve all around the guitar. Yeah. But if you have the Mastery bridge, which is an offset style, he has this butt bump where the carve doesn't go all the way around. I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I'd prefer mine didn't do that. And he's like, well, the bridge doesn't fit otherwise. I'm like, I'm gonna have to think about that. And then a couple days later, he sends me a message. He's like, okay, I did some math and I think that I can adjust things to make it work for you. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, cool, man.
You're
This
like,
guy's
that's
awesome.
great. And he's like, screw you, Coe.
Yeah. He's like, this guy sucks.
I know you're kind.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that happens a lot with customers, and sometimes it ends up being a good thing in the end. But it's like your fucking ignorance means I have to like
Work way harder than you should be having to.
right, to create some sort of a solution for your stupid idea.
Yeah, for this thing that you already create professionally all the time, and they want some other nonsense.
But then sometimes you come up with a solution that you're like pretty proud of. You're like, whoa, this solution's really great. And I wouldn't have thought to do this because it was a stupid thing to try to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then also like that guitar is typically, the Oceana is typically a Gibson scale length, which is 24 3/4. And I'm like, well, I don't like the Gibson scale length. I like the Fender scale length. And he's like, okay, I can figure out how to adjust it to the Fender scale length for you.
You're like, I hate how there's 6 strings on a guitar. What if there was 5.5?
A banjo? That's 4.5.
I don't want it to be made out of wood. I want it to be made out of like balsa wood. That is also a wood.
Layered laminate sheets
Yeah, I have to show you the K that I have right there. It's,
out of layered laminate sheets.
yeah.
Oh, dear
Well,
God.
no, it's layered laminate wood, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was a complete pain in the ass for that, I'm sure. And I think he hated it the whole way through. But the guitar is bitching. And I love it.
And then you refinished it, didn't you?
No. That one's the same.
Oh, I thought that was the one where you finished.
No, I would not do that. That's the
Okay.
one that stays in the case most of the time, unless I really am feeling froggy.
What was the one? Because you got some boutique that you ended up refinishing later, didn't you? No,
Nope.
I'm just insane.
Yep.
Okay, never mind. No, I swear there was there was something. There was something that you posted on the social medias, and you were like, "Ha ha! This guitar builder is gonna
the
hate
cower.
me."
Oh, yeah. That one, that purple one right over there.
Right.
So, okay.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy. You got too much shit.
Well-
You can't even remember.
Yeah.
No, that's different.
Fact.
That's different. Okay, so Doug Cower of Cower Guitars, a different scale of boutique. So talking about the scale of boutique, we talked about the guys that build one at a time in their shop, in their garage shop. Doug Cower is in the position where he uses mostly machines, like CNC and lasers to do
Oh wow.
like
Fucking lasers.
A different level of tech.
it's a different level of production that he can accomplish. And so he came, and his guitars are great. They're beautiful. They're well built. But they cost a lot of money. They're high end. They're very high end custom guitars. And so people kept saying, "Oh, I would buy one of your guitars if they could put it at this price point." And finally, one day, I think the way he usually puts it, he's like, "You know what? F it. I'm going to show these people that I can build them a guitar at that price, and let's see how many people buy them." So he came out with his Titan line, which hits the market at $12.99, which is a very reasonable price for that, quality of a guitar.
And for people who don't understand this, $1,299.
Yes.
Not $12.99.
Yeah, no. Yeah, $1,299. His Titan line, and it's great. It's fantastic. It's not as customizable, but it is customizable. There's some set options that you can choose from, type of thing. It sold pretty well. I have one. I won one in a raffle.
You win all the raffles.
I win all the raffles. I won a sweatshirt this week on Instagram. Let it be known, people win Instagram giveaways.
I won a Chargers jacket from a Walmart / McDonald's raffle when I was 9.
I won an Easter basket from a McDonald's raffle when I was a young kid.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
won a $100 Amazon gift card at TwitchCon a few months ago.
I
think
didn't
that's
ask you.
the first time I ever won anything in any kind of drawing.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, I won a
need that
$1,300 guitar.
Yeah.
And it's great. I like it. I think it's number 11 off of the production line. And I kept asking him, there's a bunch of unique features about it that we don't need to get into, but I kept telling him, like, man, will you make a baritone conversion neck for it. I'm like, I have electric guitars. I want a baritone. I love the way this. Can you make me a baritone conversion neck? And he's like, if we can get enough people interested, we'll do it. And could never get anybody interested besides me, really. And then he had his spring cleaning scratch and dent sale of bodies. And the bodies were super cheap. And the neck pocket on them is a standard Stratocaster neck pocket, which is, everybody makes stuff for Strats. So I bought one of his scratch and dents. It was gold. And I messaged him. I said, hey, thanks for doing that sale. I'm like, I wanted to talk to you about it. Like, I'm going to do terrible things to this guitar, and I want to make sure you're okay with it because we're cool. And he's like, what kind of terrible things are you talking about here? And I said, I'm going to get a baritone conversion neck for it. Like, you've never made me one.
So this is your fault.
I've offered to pay you. I've told you I will send you money to make me one, and you've always said no. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to repaint it, and I don't know what else yet. And he said, if it was anybody else, I would tell him to take a fucking leap off a bridge. He's like, but you have offered me money, and it's just not worth it for me to make one. So do whatever you want. He's like, but if you ever list it as a real Titan used online, I will find you. And I said, fair enough. So that's what I did. I got a baritone conversion neck. I painted it, put a sticker
that whole
on it.
interaction is so funny to me.
Why?
Because number one,
well, you've met Doug.
Yeah. Number one, I probably just wouldn't tell him in the first place.
You'd probably just do it. Yeah.
I care about my reputation with builders.
Oh, I care about my reputation with people too. So two, if I thought, but the thing is, like
that.
the odds that they're going to see it.
Well,
look, but unless you want to post it and you want to show it. Okay, so then number two, well, I want to show the whole world. Okay, fine. I need to have that conversation with him.
I am a social media whore.
But the way, but the way you said it, like I am going to do this, and I have offered you money, and you won't do it. So I am doing this. Just want to make sure it's okay, but I'm doing it. Like, I feel like I would just call a guy and be like, hey man, I'm doing this. I have this plan to do this to the guitar. I don't think I would think it was weird in the first place, but if I did, I feel like I would be
because of the reputation of there's people that would buy something like that. They'd put a neck on it, and then they'd resell it, and they'd try and flip it as a real Titan.
Right.
And then it's going out, and it's not his neck. It's not his paint job.
It's not his
I
setup.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Maybe I would just say in the beginning, like, hey, I'm gonna do this conversion thing, but just so you know, I'm not gonna resell it as a Titan or anything like that. This is my own little Frankenstein beast. I might post a few pictures online, but I won't.
I post pictures of it all the time.
Company name to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
and then if he said he was going to find me, I'd be like, you just try, motherfucker.
No, I mean...
Gone to the wind.
Obviously...
Ghost of the night.
Yeah, I mean, you got to let me tell my stories in my embellishment ways and stuff. Like, I don't... Is that how the conversation
obviously,
went? I don't know.
Obviously,
like
it probably wasn't that aggressive.
I guess I'm used to Leah.
Yeah.
Leah purposely tells all of her conversations with people verbatim.
Oh,
well,
really?
that's not
You get
fun.
the whole thing.
I don't give a crap about.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Or she's lying because her stories are
sure.
pretty interesting. So she either has great conversations.
So what you're saying is Leah's a liar.
Maybe.
Got it.
Great alliteration too.
Well, Leah the liar.
Yeah. Should never listen to this episode.
Nah, she never will.
She will because I'm on it.
That's probably true.
She may because you're on it.
Yeah. She's watching my dog right now.
So I'm just saying. So for my reputation with Leah, your story is so good and truthful, unlike Coe's lies.
I tell them in a more interesting way. I don't remember.
I appreciate that.
Truth.
Cheers.
Oh,
Truce.
Truce.
I said truth. Close enough.
Dare.
Yeah, so that's where that came. That's what you're talking about. So it's not really his guitar that I refinished. I refinished the body.
Gotcha.
Got a different neck on it.
Gotcha. Did your own thing.
Did my own thing.
Did your own thing with his like bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, with it, not a bass.
body.
It's a guitar. I mean, it's a baritone, so it's almost a bass.
No, I don't mean bass guitar. I mean like bass kit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so there's that. No, I would never refinish my Roni. I would not refinish my Equits, any custom guitar like that. My other Titan, I would not refinish.
That's what you say now.
No.
Let's see what you say a few years down the road.
Maybe if I get a badass like spray setup and stuff, but I don't see myself going down that road.
Okay.
So you're interested in moving in the guitarchitecting, guitar design.
It's fun.
Guitarchitect. We gotta
Commit to the word, Ryan.
the guitarchitecting, the guitarchitector lifestyle.
Yeah.
He's guitarchitect curious.
So what are you trying to do with that, Morty? What
This is a no cartoon zone because
what are you
we're
trying to
adults
do?
here.
Whatever.
You son of a bitch! I'm in.
No, I want to get.
Hey, that's you with all these people.
Yeah.
Kevin Equit's like, hey, want to design a guitar?
You son
of a bitch, I'm in. Want to design a pedal? You son of a bitch, I'm in.
It is. That
And
is
then
me.
you're just mortying your way through life.
Yeah. I
Just
am.
doing one last job.
I am I'm like somebody cooking a pot of pasta and I'm not sure when it's done. So every now and then I take a noodle out of the pot and I throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. I do like the idea of designing guitars.
And then after that, you design a guitar.
Yeah.
And your wall's a mess.
So yeah, I'm trying. I have some designs that I've been drawing. I don't have them as 3D renders yet because I got to learn how to use computer things, and that's a bit of a struggle for me. Computer things.
I think we drank less in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, look at this bottle. Look how much liquor is in there.
That's true.
And also, we're not in our normal setup vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're more of a chill dude.
I can live with that. That is a very common thing in the guitar gear merchandising. Well, not merchandising, merchant
Being
world.
a chill dude.
Yeah, that's like a common thing that people say about like, especially pedal builders. Oh man, he's such a good guy, such a chill dude. Like it's so much that it's a joke. Like, just go hit up Gear Talk Praise and Worship.
You're right. But this hasn't been as raucous as you might find a normal
No.
episode. But part of that's because we've known each other for a long. I mean, you guys know each other for like a fucking long time.
Yeah, forever.
And I've known you for like a long time.
Yeah, long enough.
Well, yeah, long enough. Long enough. Let's wrap this shit up. Jesus.
Which takes us to our next segment. Tell me a story I don't know.
I don't know if I could at this point. I don't know if I could at this point.
We talk at least once a month, if not more.
Yeah.
Do you really? I keep in contact with
15
nobody in
years.
San Diego. Since I moved to Nashville, I don't talk to anybody in San Diego all year. And then like around Christmas time, when we come back for the holidays, I'm like, oh shit! Like there's all sorts of people I like. I want to hang out with. I can't believe I haven't talked to them for a year.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I know. But I've narrowed it down to like 5 couples who I'm like, I gotta hang out with these people. And kind of fill everybody else in.
I made the list.
You did. Yeah, you made the cut.
Hey. Truce.
Truce.
Truce. I need more alcohol.
Yeah. Do I have a story that you haven't heard?
I don't
mean,
know.
I'm sure I've got plenty of stories about my kids that you haven't heard.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Because
I probably don't care about the story, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I care about your kids. I like them.
You do like my kids. They like you. They were anxious to see you.
They
It's
don't
so funny
like
because
me.
then when I see them, they act like they're too Cass acts like he's too cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's a big
Not too
7-year-old
cool.
now.
He's just shy.
I don't even think it's shy anymore. It's just like he doesn't want you to think that he's a nerd. You know, These nerds are lame.
Talks about Dig Dug a lot.
He does.
like a
Well,
nerd.
he got that classic arcade thing for Christmas a couple days ago and loves it.
Yeah.
I think that he would love it less if I wasn't a bad dad and I would go outside and fly his drone with him.
Sure.
He might like drones.
But
more.
outside you have your aggressive dog now.
And there's the sun and
sun.
people.
in fresh air.
yeah, that's no good. None of that. That's nonsense.
Yeah. So, no, I don't know that I have any like special stories to tell you since that
You probably
haven't
do.
heard.
You just can't think of it on the top of your head. Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
it goes.
Well, we were talking about Portland earlier and that being a crazy trip.
It was a crazy trip.
What was crazy about it?
For me, okay, so we went on that trip together. We drove from San Diego to Portland in 23 hours. I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but we left at 2 a.m. on Friday morning from San Diego, and we arrived in Portland at 1 a.m. on Saturday morning, which is pretty intense drive.
Yeah, and we didn't like really stop on the way, huh? We kind of just did it straight.
We stopped at a Starbucks once. And a few gas stations.
Those, to me, those don't count as stops.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you have to stop to
pee
refuel
and
your body and your car.
No, yeah, it was a straight drive. And the craziest part to me was once we got into Oregon, like the Oregon border, because we were in those mountains and we were driving my cargo van full of tens of thousands of dollars of gear that I did not own, that were on loan to me to show for people.
With semi-squirrely suspension.
Yeah, semi-squirrely
not
suspension.
Not the best steering handling.
Don't know if I told you.
Top heavy.
I had that van for a year and a half at that point, I think, ish. And no, just a year. I had that van for a year, and when I bought it, I was told it needed new brakes.
Oh.
And we were going through the mountains. There's like a mountain pass. Do you know the name? I don't know.
Well, it was right.
Pass.
I think it started getting hairy right past
Redding.
Yeah, and Shasta.
Yeah.
Going into the Shasta forest.
And it started to snow.
Shasta, isn't that soda brand?
Yep.
Yeah.
It started to snow and
Is that where they harvest their
Mount
soda?
Shasta. They harvest their soda from the innards of the mountain. Speaking of Mount Shasta, the inside of... Oh, a tangent. Is this the first one?
Oh my God. This is the least tangent we've ever been.
Yeah. Mount Shasta, it's believed that inside there is an entire society
of orange soda people.
Close, even crazier. I believe they're galactic aliens that like rule the universe. And
it's a big Scientologist community.
No, it's not Scientologist.
It's a lizard
Sounds
people
close.
thing.
Oh, lizard people.
They're not lizard. They're something else.
Okay.
I forgot. There's a name to it.
Okay.
And
golem people, like rock people.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I was there recently and we went into some new age store just like, what's this all about? Like read up on their Christ-like figure that lives in the mountain. Anyway, and he's like an emissary for the Earth to space.
Interesting.
So good to
Sure.
know.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, we were driving and
so we're driving to it was snow and sleet. And we're driving this rickety van with tens of thousands of dollars of things that I don't own that are on loan to me. And we've been driving for like 20 hours at that point-ish.
probably 15
15
at that point.
I don't know.
And
Time doesn't make sense to me most of the time.
I don't
Fair
think
enough.
I explained to you how tired I was when I was driving and out of it.
Probably would have
Because
changed.
it's not reassuring.
Yeah, probably. Well, I didn't tell you about the brakes. So
Fair enough.
Y'all should talk more. You should communicate a little better on these
Well,
things.
the thing is that I have extreme stamina for long drives, even when I am extremely tired.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he had driven through the night. He drove the first leg through the night.
Yeah.
So he wasn't better.
yeah, possibly worse. So snowing. It's dark. That thing's old. The lights aren't that great.
Hard to see out the windows. You know, like when you have bad windshield wipers and
Yeah.
like
This
shitty
is like a
glass,
National
and it's like-
Lampoon thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
in this
100%.
rickety van, no brakes,
And I
thousands
think-
of stuff in
and
the
it
back.
was foggy
It is foggy, snow,
and wind.
and wind.
And yeah, you want to keep
and-
pushing through anyways.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we
You
had
gotta get there.
We had to do
You
a
gotta get
guitar
there.
show at 9 a.m. in Portland. And how many flipped over semi trucks did we see along the side of the road?
Well, I only remember one, and that
remember
was enough for me.
I remember 3.
Really?
Specifically, I remember 3.
So we saw a number between 1 and 3 semis flipped. And that to me
Those
was
are
a big-
professional drivers.
Exactly.
That's what they
Professional
do
driver.
all day,
Yeah.
every day.
And they drive that route all the time.
Like, they
Yeah.
know
Like
it.
that's their way. They go.
You're
Yeah.
flying by, no brakes. just hoping for the best.
Yeah. We survived.
Well, you're here, so
When we,
Yeah, I remember on that drive just a lot of like when you have a car that doesn't have like great steering, like driving is no
Oh yeah, there's
fun.
like 6 inches of play in that steering wheel.
Yes, I hate play. I cannot take play in steering wheels.
Just a play in the steering
And
wheel.
we're trying to listen to music. It doesn't have speakers.
Yeah, there was no.
So we're listening to
there's
music
no
out of
stereo.
this little Bluetooth speaker thing, and I'm like, "Coe, can you change a song?"
Because you can't take your hands off the wheel because you'll die.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I
There's
remember,
a lot of times I was driving, I'm just like, "Oh my god, is that ice? Is that ice? Is
Yeah.
that ice? Is that ice?"
I
And
do
can't
remember
see.
constantly him going, "Is that black ice? Is that black ice?" I'm like, I don't know.
And my eyes are like
I live in San Diego.
blurry.
I don't even know what
the
ice
wind
is.
hitting you, and
Yeah. And I remember at some point we were coming down a big grade, probably out of Shasta Mountains. I don't know.
probably.
And being so tired and being like, I gotta stay awake. We might die if I fall asleep. I'm not driving.
Mm-hmm.
And if we die, there's nothing I can do from the passenger seat anyway. So I took a nap. And
I definitely had a moment at night where I pulled us over because I was pretty concerned that what I was seeing on the road was black ice, and I pulled over just to get out and like step on it and feel if it was ice or not.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, but like kind of like the whole road's not generally black ice, is it? It's just like patches.
Right.
Yeah,
So
there
you
was
could-
a
you
lot of them though.
So you could be like, is this black ice? And be like, oh no, it's fine. And then like 50 feet ahead, there's black ice.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
sometimes you see on the roads, it'll be late at night and
he was
potentially cold
trying
enough to freeze.
He was
and it'll be
trying
shiny.
to, yeah, it's distinguish
He
between
was trying
what
to
different
be
colors
a
meant.
responsible
Right.
adult who didn't
But
want to die on the way to Portland.
All that to say, we got to a truck stop at the bottom of the grade, and there was an Arby's inside,
Which is delightful.
So we stopped to get
yeah.
Arby's, and
that.
it was like very bare bones. It's in a truck stop, you know. It's midnight-ish, 11 midnight at the time, something like that. We go in there and we order, and Arby's likes to take your name when you make your order,
Okay.
so that they can call you by name when your food's ready.
Sure.
I'm like, all right. And the guy's, so what's your name? I'm like, Coe. He's like, how do you spell that? C-O-E. He's like, I'm just going to put K-O. Is that all right? I'm like, absolutely.
Is that easier? I don't. So wherever you were at the time in Oregon, they're not smart enough for the 3-letter words.
Yeah,
But the 2 letters are fine.
at that point we were just in Oregon, not Portland, Oregon.
Right, Oregon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Somewhere in Oregon, yeah. But yeah, that was the highlight of the trip for me. That's not true. I got to hang out with a lot of cool people in my gear friend community in
Gear
Portland.
friend community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
That was
Matt,
fun.
you remember Matt
Yep,
Smith?
Matt Smith.
And how gracious and
Oh.
awesome he was to
Matt
us.
Smith, the guy who
You know
played
what I
the
didn't
doctor?
tell you?
Huh. It's still recording, I'm pretty sure. It's just a screen.
For the podcast listeners, the computer just looked like it turned off.
So interestingly, I ran into his son in Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay, I'll end that story then. It was really it was like crazy how I met him at a party for like this band I did some work for. They had a giant house party on Halloween, and like he walked up and he recognized me.
Yeah.
I would never have recognized him. And he was like, "Hey, remember?" And I was like, he's like, "My dad's Matt Smith, Portland, Oregon." And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes."
I
we
did
met
not get a lot of
briefly.
sleep before then, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, that whole next day we were like zombies.
we were
huh?
wrecked. And
we had to like
I was
constantly tell
such
everybody
a whiny bitch that day. I was the worst.
that day.
I see Ryan nodding his head.
Truce.
Well, with every podcast we do, we have a question that we ask.
Yes.
We do. Now, the thing is, everyone has an answer to this question, but not everyone knows it.
Okay.
Suppose you do.
I suppose in this situation, given that you have listened to the show,
Yes.
you have an answer.
And you know it.
and
And
I know it.
you know it. I don't know how our normal build-up works in this situation.
If you had to choose,
Yes.
And you
and
do.
you do.
I do.
So here's the deal. The important part about this question is the answer comes from here.
Yes.
And for the podcast listeners, he's pointing to his head.
Not from here?
And for the podcast listeners, Coe is pointing to his heart.
We already fucked it up because I don't even know how to do this anymore.
But if you had to choose,
Hold on.
But don't do it too quick, because too quick's bad.
If you had to choose.
Yes.
And you do.
And
I do.
you do. What would you say?
Now, the important part of this question.
I really hope that you guys came up with a new question.
We didn't. What would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
C's.
The candy?
Seas
Yes.
Turtles.
Oh, I know you had like a year to think about it. And the best you came up with is candy. But it's pretty unique.
Right?
It's pretty solid.
I mean, I'm not into
Seas
Russell
turtle.
Stover's.
Are those the ones with, they're like caramel?
It's caramel, like a caramel patty with a couple pecans covered in chocolate.
Pecans.
Pecans.
Right, pecans.
And in the shape of a turtle?
right. It's got some caramel
Roughly.
and pecans.
Russell Stover's, they're pretty weak. Their chocolate sucks, first of all.
I'm not a big Russell Stover's fan myself. I like C's.
And they
but
don't
my
really
wife hates
care.
C's.
They don't really care about getting the turtle shape right, but C's.
So is the turtle shape important to you?
No, but it's a nice touch.
Okay, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
So of all the turtles, C's variety is the best.
Yes.
Now, if you had to choose, what would you say is your favorite guitar pedal?
My favorite guitar pedal.
You're taking too long to answer.
This one. No, that's not true. It's probably the one that I own 5 of over here on the couch. Yeah.
I was wondering if I could have 2.
No.
I feel like now all I want to do is scour the internet for one to come up just so Coe can't have it.
Good luck. I have alerts set on Reverb and eBay, and I regularly check Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist.
Now, what is it called?
The Retromechanical Labs Clean Overdriver.
What does it do?
It clean overdrives.
So it's 2 circuits. There's a clean boost, which I never use, and an overdrive circuit.
Nice. And what makes this one so good?
It's harmonic.
Is it the sound?
Yes.
There you go.
The harmonics and the dynamics to it I just really like them. It reminds me, so think of Vinny from Brand New, the guitar player, not Jesse Lacey.
Okay.
For those that don't know names, his guitar sound, it reminds me a lot of his guitar sound, which is hard to achieve without a really high wattage amp. So just because there's like some upper mid harmonics that happen when you play through 1,000-watt guitar head like he does. It's 1,300. I can't remember. It's a super bassman. I could look it up real quick, but it's a super bassman head that he uses through some custom cabs. And like there's just some upper mid harmonics that you get out of that much wattage that's hard to get out of other things.
And what's like an example of one of their songs that has that tone?
All of them.
Okay. Like Jesus Christ?
Yep. It's in there.
It's like lead tone we're talking about, right?
Yeah, so I mean it's hard to distinguish between lead and rhythm in a lot of their stuff, but yeah. The Daisy lead work is like more where I tend to lean, but yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, now we're coming up to our time here. Hold on. Edit this out in post.
You can add another important question.
No.
Are you okay?
Got a little wrong pipe scotch.
Oh, yeah, true.
It burns. We're good now. Woo!
Scotch would burn down the wrong way.
It does.
Yeah, it hurts.
Luckily, it was just a little bit.
hurts.
It was just a tiny bit.
Yeah. Could you imagine if it was that Jack Daniel's single barrel?
Oh no, I'd be dead now.
Oh, speaking of, I left that here and I need it.
Really?
I think I left it,
I have not seen it.
and I know I need it.
Well,
I might have it.
what I was gonna say
I
is,
think it's here.
You were very drunk when you left my house the other
since
night.
we're
Jared told me about when you came into the house, how it went.
Oh, you have to tell me more about that.
Yeah.
But so the people who are listening know, where can they find you, both your address and social security number, as well as your social medias, and where can they listen to any music you've done and buy all your pedals, and also you listen to your podcast, and I don't know, you do a lot of shit. Where can they see all of it?
I know, and because of the fact that you gave it like such a long-winded and specific preface, I can't use my normal joke that I use.
Which is
Usually people say, where can we find you? And I say, the internet. At Coe Schneider on Instagram, at the Flippin Flippers podcast on Instagram, at One Day Guitar Show on Instagram, at I Like Pete on Instagram.
wait, what?
Yeah, you don't even
Do you
know
like
about
Pete?
that. I Like Pete.
No. Oh, Moss
Yes.
for Scotch.
Bingo.
Got it.
Got it.
I'm glad I was able to put that together with no hints.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm proud of you. The Flippin Flippers podcast on all your podcast platforms, I think. If you find one that we're not on, let us know. We will do nothing about it. And then I hang out on the Tone Jerks podcast sometimes, some local guitar guys. Check out 60 Echo Hum if you're into guitar stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
what else did you say?
Do you do the twit?
Twitter. I have a Twitter. Sometimes it's just pushed content from
You have
Instagram.
SoundCloud?
I do have a SoundCloud. I haven't looked at it in years.
TikTok.
No TikTok. You can search Sun Cub on Bandcamp. We have an EP. You can download it for free.
Okay, Snapchat.
Or you can send us money.
Yeah, Snapchat.
No Snapchat.
Only for dick pics.
Nope, don't even have that.
Okay.
What else do I have
MySpace?
out there? There is a MySpace. I forget my login, but I do look at it every now and then.
Really?
There's an
Live
honor,
journal.
Yeah.
GeoCities.
There's an Honor Wounds MySpace page
Yeah.
still. I believe all the tracks on it currently are a baby laughing. So
Okay.
that's cool.
That's-
Oh, weird. It was like hacked.
I don't know. I thought you did it.
Hell no.
Okay, maybe Mike Best did it.
Why would anybody do that?
I don't know, but I think like where our songs for Honor Wounds would be, it's just all babies laughing.
Are you sure that's not what you originally recorded and forgot?
No.
Just checking.
Yeah. So yeah, Sun Cub. It's the other one on Instagram at Sun Cub Band.
You have a lot of Instagrams.
You have no idea.
And
I thought my wife had a lot, and I thought she was insane for it. She's nothing compared to you.
I have a guitar one, another guitar one, another guitar one, a drinking one that I use just to mess with other people.
You gotta have one of those.
Yeah. I also run an Instagram account for my mom's business. What
you
else?
have a problem.
I can't think of any other things.
Okay.
You have a Reddit, a subreddit.
No, there's a YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, just look up the Flippin Flippers. Don't look mine up because I have one. I don't know what it. I haven't done anything. Flippin Flippers.
You have a
we do
Twitch
something.
page?
I do have a Twitch page. I do not remember what it's called because I have
Yeah, I
not
think it was
been on there in a
Coach.
long.
You just
probably.
hear of things and then sign up.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's true. I do. I try everything. Remember, spaghetti wall. You know, if it sticks, good.
But anyways, guys, also you can tune in 2 Fridays from now when we have insert guest here in post on the show. As we are not currently on
That'll
the
get
schedule.
Coming up on the show, we have Trevor Silva, who was a drummer for a band called the Steel Magnolias
Why does that name sound familiar?
because they were famous in
And also there's
country music.
a movie called Steel Magnolias.
No,
From like the
the
80s.
band thing sounds more familiar.
Yeah, screw your movie.
Steel Magnolias
were-
was.
My grandma really liked it.
Are you sure that's the 80s?
No.
Because wasn't
I'm
Tom
not.
Cruise in it? Speaking of
I don't know.
Scientologists,
I don't remember.
was he in Steel Magnolias
I don't
or
recall. I watched it
Magnolia.
one time. My grandma liked it. I don't know.
okay?
Like 20 years ago.
80s movies I like Red Dawn.
I love Red Dawn. Did you see the new Red Dawn when they
I
when they
did.
redid it? It wasn't good.
No.
No. But I liked it was like this like hella America thing going on. It was like strong America vibes.
Yeah.
But the movie was trash. The original's good though.
Yeah.
You should check it out. Red Dawn. Shout
Dawn.
out Red Dawn.
Yep.
Shout out CBD.
Shout out CBD.
and then we're gonna have Lauren Clark, who is an amazing bass player. He plays for a group called Group One Crew, which is a CCM band, but he also plays for like a whole ton of other people,
Probably
including
plays in P-dub bands.
well, he no, he also plays for David Ryan Harris.
And
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
David Ryan
I
Harris.
sounded interested, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. Good job. He played
I'm on a podcast
David yeah.
where the other host doesn't question me.
David Ryan Harris played guitar for John Mayer for a good long time.
Oh, nice.
And then he's gone solo. So he's like a blues guy.
or we might have Lauren Davidson, who hit us up via email to get on the show, and we have not responded yet. So,
Yeah. So Lauren Davidson, if you're listening,
we would love to have you on the show. But anyways, make sure to tune in Fridays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we are live on Twitch, twitch.tv/ObitIX. You can also check out the Instagram Music Girl Hideout, or at Ryan Poole Music on Instagram, or at ObitIX. I don't know. We don't normally plug this many things, but I've just running with the train.
Well,
Running with
co-listed
the
like
train.
Co-listed a lot, and I feel like I gotta compete
Instagram
now.
accounts.
I gotta
Yeah.
compete.
musicgirlhideout.com, which, by the way, on a recent episode, just to call you out, I think you said thehideout.com.
Oh, I was probably thinking like, it's called the
and
Hideout, but you're right. The website is musichideout.com.
I was in the other room, so I couldn't correct you, but I was like, how do you not know our own
Anyways.
website?
Yeah. Anyways, but we're on. A
And
lot
for
of
the
things,
podcast
things.
listeners, Jury is wearing a Cheshire cat shirt.
My wife bought me. It was my Halloween costume this year. I didn't want to wear one.
T-shirt.
And this is what we
Halloween
settled for. My dog
Wear this costume.
My dog had the White Rabbit costume. My wife dressed like Alice, and no, the Queen of Hearts. And I
You wore a
wore a
t-shirt.
t-shirt. Anyways, thanks everyone for coming to hang out as always, and we will see you again next time.
Lonely, lonely, everybody that I meet is lonely, especially me.